Hey, Shalom. Shalom. Peace. Shabbat Shalom, to be exact. What's going on, family? It's your brother Amath. IQAhmath, first name. IQ is all the same. Welcome to another episode of DSTM. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't you do it. You hear me? Don't do it. This is episode number 159. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Um, wasn't able to do this live, y'all. So if you on there, typing, you're chatting to me. I'm not live. I had to record this. It's just scheduling. It's been like that this week, but I had to make sure that I still drop the transmission to disrupt the system. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm watching y'all. Don't steal that. I'm dropping a trans. What is it? What I say? Dropping a transmission to disrupt the system. All right. Hopefully everybody's well, man. It's a blessed Sabbath, man. The Lord's day. Hopefully you guys are worshiping, honoring Him in the glory that He deserves, keeping the commandments, right? Um, but I definitely want to cover a few articles with you that we got to continue on with this fight, man. We got to continue on. We got some good news and got to continue rolling with this avalanche of bad news, man. That's going on in this earth. But it is what it is, and this is the times that we're living in. By the way, check the scroll down there. Make sure you wipe your feet. Hello? Do I need to remind my brothers and sisters? I hope not. All right, you wipe your feet, man. If you're new to the channel, that means hit the like button. Hit the like button, man. You coming into the house. I cleaned up, I cooked, I left you the key, even though I'm not home. Left you the key, told you come on in. Food's ready to eat. All you got to do is wipe your feet before you come in. Do me that honor, do me that respect. Huh? That's all I ask for. Just got to get the algorithms kicking, man. We gotta keep this channel, this content alive. If it finds it, I mean, if you find that it's been a blessing to you, man, of understanding and wisdom and knowledge and just general information, man, all you got to do is give me a thumbs up. You know, I don't need it for vainglory and none of that, man. I'm just asking that you do your part in keeping this information visible for those who aren't getting notified, because that is still happening. I'm still getting hit up from brothers and sisters saying, I missed your live. I just happened to randomly go on the channel and seeing that you was on, or that y'all had a class happening. Uh, YouTube is still tinkering and tampering with the algorithms, man, trying to reduce the visibility of myself and others, uh, and the other brothers of messengers of the covenant. So, do your part, man. Help us out. All right. Um, let's get right to business, man. Let's get right to business. I don't have much time, but I do have time to share. How about that? Let me open this up, man. A lot of things going on in the earth, as y'all know. As y'all know, man. We got Putin running drills, nuclear drills, that is, intended for the West. So now his new target is America. Well, the Most High has already been saying that. We've been talking about it till we blew in the face in regards to nuclear attacks coming to America. America is even saying prepare. New York is running video infomercial drills about what to do in the event of a nuclear attack. They're out there trying to activate the nuclear uh, 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 bomb shelters that they got in New York. They got many of them. Maybe we'll look at that on the map. Um, you know, disaster preparedness kits was getting handed out throughout the country last month, right? Bug out bags, etc. Uh, so now that we're hearing this rhetoric coming out from various news outlets that Putin is running chilling, that's a quote, chilling moments that he's running these nuclear drills in preparation for bombing the West. He's also recruiting Ishmael, the wild man. He's got Ishmael over there, training them up to help them in the fight. Any surprises there? Shouldn't be. Scriptures tell us that as well. A bigger, even more of a bigger impact that could be happening very soon. They're talking about America's got less than 25 days left of diesel fuel. That's less than a month supply. Excuse me. And if you know the importance of diesel fuel and how important it is to the imports and the exports, to the traveling of the goods, the truckers, uh, transporting goods and services, if that goes, all hell is going to break loose. The supply chain will completely collapse until they find a solution. And I think the guy's name is Jake Tapper, the White House press secretary. They asked him, the press asked him, what is the plan and what is he going to do about it? Excuse me. What's the White House plan? And he said, I don't have the data on that right now. In other words, I don't know. We're in trouble. I'm gonna see if I can locate that. This is just off the cuff, but nonetheless, man. On the good news front, New York is now ordering all them people that lost their jobs because they refused to get something put in them. They got to give them their jobs back plus back pay, as it was ruled that it was illegal and unconstitutional. How about that? But when they was talking about it and fighting for it a year ago, they were told go to hell. Imagine that. See, the further collapse of Argentina. Argentina's inflation rate is at 100% right now. I think they said the thousand. What is it? 1,000 peso is worth like $6 out there. So just imagine going out there to pay for a meal that costs you $18, and you got to pay 3,000 pesos. I mean, that's wild. Uh, in other stories, man, we got biblical archaeology verifying the cities of Judah and the warfare that the Southern Kingdom went through, dealing with the Assyrians and dealing with who else was it? I think the Egyptians. We'll look at it. We'll look at it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. Let's get right to it, man. No more teasing. We're just gonna get right to it. How about that? First one up, right? Vlad's barrage, the chilling moment, deranged. He's deranged, right? But remember, he called out America for being the first ones to actually push the panic button and bomb Hiroshima and Nagasaki and use a hydrogen bomb, to use nuclear weapons. But isn't it so crazy how now the UK and the US can say that he's deranged, he's crazy? He ain't even did what America has done. You talk about deranged leadership. Let's talk about the deranged leaders: Andrew Jackson, George Washington, General Custer. You dig what I'm saying? As they went and destroyed and slaughtered millions here in the indigenous populations in America. Disease, famine, warfare, lynchings, slavery, tried to destroy a whole entire population, genocide. And they got the nerve to say, oh, somebody else is deranged because he's in a civil war amongst his own people. Was America deranged when they had the civil war between the North and the South? I mean, who was deranged there? We wasn't hearing this type of rhetoric, man, but be that as it may, propaganda exists, man. Propaganda exists. Uh, thanks to man, what's that cat's name? The father of propaganda. God dang it. Drawing a blank, y'all. Blame it on too much dang information in the head and getting older. Uh Edward Bernays. Edward Bernays. See, I was getting ready to look it up, and all praise to the Most High, it came to me. Edward Bernays, father of propaganda, man. This dude is credited for utilizing propaganda for war, for social experimentation, for influence on the public, so forth and so on, man. But this is what we're seeing when we see stuff like this. Chilling moment deranged Putin. Chilling moment deranged Putin oversees a quote nuclear strike on the West during a terrifying Operation Thunder. World War III drills. Matter of fact, while they're talking about uh, drills, NATO uh they're running their own drills called Operation Steadfast Midnight. Operation Steadfast Midnight, I think it's called. Hold on. NATO. Let's see, where are we at? So this is an article from October 14th, last week. Was it last week? About 2 weeks ago. Steadfast noon. I said midnight. Yeah. Steadfast noon. How NATO military exercise plans test nuclear capabilities. So not only is America and NATO running nuclear drills, now Putin is doing the same thing, but he's deranged. NATO and America, they're not deranged. No, no, they're sane. The most murderous conglomerate of nations known to man. But be that as it may. Looking at this real quick. NATO drills that start next week aim to test the alliance's nuclear deterrent capabilities amid threats over what Vladimir Putin might do next in his faltering invasion of Ukraine. The alliance said that Steadfast Noon exercise starting on Monday and running until October 30th is a routine, reoccurring training activity, and it is not linked to any current world events. How how do they just lie like that? They're doing these drills. We never heard about Steadfast Noon last year, the year before last. I mean, this was not newsworthy. If it was, I would have sniffed it out and picked up on it and said, why is NATO running the nuke drills? And there's no wars going on globally. So here they are trying to quell the masses and say, oh, this has nothing to do with what's going on currently in the world. NATO's got no problems with what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. They've got no vested interest. I mean, when we believe in that madness, man, what did it say? Amid threats of what Vladimir Putin might do due to his faltering invasion of Ukraine. And now they come back and double down and say, oh, this is just a recurring training activity. This is routine. And it's not linked to anything that's happening in world events. I mean, good Lord, man. You talk about the white man being the devil. You tell me if that's not a lie from the pit of hell, I don't know what is. However, it comes as concerns grow that Putin might resort to nuclear weapons following losses in his invasion, in which his forces have had to retreat. So, we've been hearing about this dirty bomb situation. Who's going to be the first to actually launch off this dirty bomb operation, this false flag? Will are they saying Russia may just actually sabotage themselves in order to incite nuclear war, or Ukraine might do it because they're going to provoke NATO and America to join them in the war? I mean, you're talking about lies and devilish words coming out of the mouths of both sides. This is why it's hard to even deal with these damn heathen, because you don't know who's telling the truth and who isn't. We just follow the trail and match it with what the scriptures say. So continue reading this. It says Vladimir Putin has ordered drills involving Russia's nuclear forces in which they simulated a massive strike on the West. The barrage of ballistic and cruise missiles fired in Operation Thunder exercises come as U.S. official has warned of troubling developments involving Russia's nuclear arsenal. Let's scroll down. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said that drills, codenamed Grom or Thunder, simulated a massive nuclear strike by Russia in retaliation for an attack on its soil. Video released by Russian military-run Zvezda website showed armed forces personnel in front of computers launching a Yars ballistic missile. Other footage showed a Seneva intercontinental ballistic missile being fired from a submarine in the Barents Sea, and a Tu 95 bomber that launched cruise missiles. The Kremlin said that all tasks set for the exercise were fulfilled and all the missiles that were test fired reached the designated target. So they had full success. And I'm sure that this was just routine as well. This has nothing to do with what's going on in today's world events. I mean, why didn't they add that on here as well? You feel me? Like, come on. This is the foolishness that's going on. And they still haven't found that missing Russian sub with the Poseidon weaponry on there. So the mystery of where we're at with this war and where it's going to escalate to is still before us. But we are seeing escalations on mass levels. Look at this. Afghan commandos. Maybe they're salty at how slow Biden left them hanging back in August of last year. They're coming back for revenge, huh? Afghan commandos trained by allied forces are being recruited by Russia to fight in Ukraine after they were abandoned by the West when their country fell to the Taliban. Oh, maybe that is the case. Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil it. Genesis 16. Well, what about this? Uh, Genesis 16. And look at what the Most High said about Ishmael, man. These are the guys in Afghanistan. These are the Arabs. Genesis 16 and 11. And the angel of the Most High Yahweh said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy afflictions. He will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. So Ishmael is going to remain in the presence of all his brethren. This is why you see the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, that conglomeration of Arab countries, right? You got Qatar, you got Dubai, you've got where else are all these other Ishmaelite countries? All of them dwelling together in the deserts, right? But he's going to be an untamed wild man that knows no bounds. His hand is going to be against every man and every man's hand against him. He's going to always be in the middle of some sort of controversy. When you see all of the propaganda that went down with 9/11, the whole world hated Ishmael. Until years afterwards, we seeing, oh, there was no weapons of mass destruction. Oh, we are seeing those pilots. They got trained here in America. Oh, what's the cat's name? Osama bin Laden was a CIA asset that he got trained by the CIA under the Cold War with Russia back in the 80s. The Mujahideen was the rebel organization that they were training up to fight against the Russians in the Cold War in the 80s. Remember that? So now people is looking like, oh, wait a minute. Is Ishmael really this bad? But it's too late. Everybody's already looked at them as the terrorists. You had comedians and jokes and all kind of stuff, man. A catch on the what was it on a Soul Plane? That goofy movie. They was on the plane and all of a sudden they looked and seen a cat with a damn turban on and Ishmaelite and the whole damn plane got scared and shook up. If y'all remember that. That's how they turn every man against him. And what do in turn? They weaponize everything that they have and retaliate accordingly. As we see them cutting off the oil supplies and told slow Biden, go to hell, we're not pumping more oil. Good luck. I forgot which guy said, which Arab cat it was, but he said it's his job to tell everybody in the world, be prepared for some pain. Uh, he may not have said that. as a quote, but I'm trying to see if that was something close to what he says. Hold on. Look how they treat slow Biden. Uh, dang, where's he at? I can't find it. I can't find it. It was a video, but I was trying to see if they had it based upon and I missed the cat's name. But nonetheless, he said, man, you got to be prepared for it's his job because there's gonna be problems globally because of the oil shortages, the power shortages, the accelerated rates of inflation, and the cost for operations of businesses. Uh, you know, all those things are going to be really bad in the very near future. Remember, even the articles, the Ishmaelites came out and said that Slow Biden told them just pump some oil until after the elections, and then you can raise it up and do what you need to do. And they was like, man, we're not dealing with your dirty politics, man. Get up out of here with your old ass. In other words, you dig what I'm saying? So Ishmael is now being recruited. He's the wild man that doesn't give a damn. Mercenaries, they'll go in anywhere if the price is right. They have videos of them on Twitter, man. They said they're on the payroll. I think they said they're getting paid like $1,000 a month to go fight over there. That must be a lot of money for them. So they're already actively over there. Uh, in the wild man of the desert. Look at it's Job 39. Let me see. Look at this. Job 39 in verse 5. Who have sent out the wild ass free? Or who have loosed the bands of the wild ass? The wild ass we talking about is Ishmael, man. This the wild man, this the wild. It said who let him out? Who's letting him run through the earth, man? Run rampant. Now he stays in his lane over there in the so-called Middle East, but he will go wherever needed in order to raise hell. Dropping down, it says, "Whose house I have made the wilderness and the barren land his dwellings." So here they are in the dead center of the damn Middle East desert, and they're out there making oases. They're talking about how Dubai is making a whole new city. Where is it at? Uh, and they had, I mean, these cats is out. Look at it. They got beaches over there in Dubai, man. They got indoor malls, snow, simulating everything, man. They're making their own rain when it's 120 degrees. I mean, who wants to live in them type of conditions? But because the wild man and the 12 princes that came with him were blessed to have, because the Most High told uh, Ishmael, I mean, told Hagar and Ishmael when she sent them out that he said he's still going to be blessed. He's still going to have possessions and riches. He's still part of the Hebrew lineage, but he wasn't given the covenant. Let me go back over there. We're gonna come back to Job. Let me go back. Okay, so verse 12 again, it says, "And he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called the name of Yahweh that spake unto her, Thou power, seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me?" So now we're gonna go over to chapter 17. And let me drop down to here, verse 20. Well, let's read 19. It says, "And the Most High says, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant. See, the Muslims be trying to twist that up and talking about the covenant was given to Ishmael. Pure lies. The covenant was given to Ishmael. I mean, given to Isaac, not Ishmael. And it's everlasting. And his seed after him. So it was generationally going to carry on through the seed of Isaac, not through Ishmael. The Galatians 4 tells you that that was symbolic of the woman and the child of the flesh, not the child of the promise. Verse 20 says, and as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful, and he will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. So he's gotten his blessing. He is a great nation. He's came up. United Arab Emirates. This is all, you know, part of those part of the nation that he was gonna have. See, as you read on later, he got blessed, given the land that has vast mineral resources of oil and power, which pretty much, as we're seeing, is a necessary uh, resource for the world, right? So you got the United Arab Emirates, all of these particular nations, man, Ishmael, all smack dab in the damn desert, where somehow they've been able to make something out of nothing. That's all through the Most High. So let's get back to Job 39 and we'll keep it moving. Look at this. Uh, Verse 5 again, Job 39 and 5. Who have sent out the wild ass free, or who have loosed the bands of the wild ass? Well, clearly Putin. He's one. It says Afghan commandos trained by allied forces are being recruited by Russia to fight in Ukraine after they were abandoned by the West when countries fell to the Taliban. Up to 30,000 Afghan commandos were abandoned by the West last year. Now they're being recruited by Russia to join in Putin's faltering war effort. It is believed the shadowy Wagner group is behind their recruitment drive. Afghan commandos who were trained by allied forces to fight the Taliban are now being recruited by Russia to fight in Ukraine. Up to 30,000 members of the elite National Army Commando Corps were abandoned by the West when the country fell to the hardline Islamist group last year. Now, the U.S. trained light infantry force that fought side by side with Allied troops of nearly 20 years could be joining Vladimir Putin's savage war effort. You see how they just get recruited, man? America pulls them in, Russia pulls them in. They like mercenary jackals. They go where the food is at. It is believed that shadowy Wagner Group is behind the recruitment drive, exploiting the jobless commandos. An ex-official told Foreign Policy, "I'm telling you, the recruiters are Wagner Group. They are gathering people from all over." Here they go. All of the weaponry, everything, courtesy of America. You know what I'm saying? They looking just like some American troops, minus the masks. See, and that's only going to show us what's going on. Like, let me finish this up. It says, "Who have sent out the wild ass free, or who have loosed the bands of the wild ass? Whose house have I made the wilderness, and the barren land his dwellings?" Well, look at where they live. You talking about smack dab in the desert, barren lands his dwellings, and he's over there making skyscrapers and look what they're making in the middle of nowhere, man. If y'all seen that Fast and Furious movie, that was they were supposed to be in Dubai, man. Them big hotels that they had. Look at they import water to create these whole oases. The barren lands, man, the Most High gave it to them. This is all desert, but they've made a whole new oasis out of it. It's a luxury place, man, and people say, "Oh, you got to go." Only the rich go there now. Look at the yachts posted up, but they were given that. Whose house I have made the wilderness and the barren lands his dwellings. He scorneth the multitude of the city, neither regardeth he the crying of the driver. So it shows him being wild, man. He doesn't care about anybody but himself, the well-being of his people. The mad jihadist, man, that dies and lives and dies for Allah and the damn rock in Mecca, pedophilia, sodomy, everything else goes on over there. They don't give a damn. You hear about the rumored escort engagements that these Saudi princes is paying Instagram models and all that to fly over there so they can defecate on them and do all kind of vile things. That goes on. Okay. The range of the mountains is his pasture, and he searcheth after every green thing. The range of the mountains. So that's where this is why they were so successful with the guerrilla warfare because of how they were positioning themselves. They supposedly, found Bin Laden hiding in a cave. You feel me? So this is what we see going on. Ishmael being recruited. Um, Ishmael being recruited. He's engaging in war. We covered this before, but look at it. Second Ezra 15. We'll read this one again. 28. Behold, an horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. Well, look at them. These are the dragons of Arabia. Many chariots. They're getting trained up by who? Esau. Why has he got to get trained by Esau? Because why? Esau was blessed to be live by the sword. Esau's got the technology. Esau's got the weaponry. Esau's got the mind manipulation in order to train somebody to be a killer. These aren't traditional fatigues that they would wear in the military. These fatigues are army fatigues that they got from Esau, training them up. You see? So now when we're seeing this type of headline, oh, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and a multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble, because now they know once these wild men get involved, all bets is off. I mean, these are cats that'll run up in a building and scream Allahu Akbar and blow themselves up because they believe they got 70 virgins waiting for them. So let them get active. You notice how Putin has already turned over his war to his military commander. What do they call him? General. I think not general. It might be general. I can't recall. Armageddon. See, Putin is pulling up all the stops, saying, "Okay, you know what? I got to let the madmen start calling some shots and doing some things now." Now Ishmael getting involved. We know Iran is already involved by uh, selling and giving them drone technology, and they have troops on the ground over there, which is part of the uh, scenario. Iran is one of the is also known. The Carmanians is also the Iranians or Iranians. Okay, it says, "Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and a multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians." So when you're seeing all of those things, right? Uh, what is Wikipedia? Wikipedia. I don't usually mess with them too much, but it is what it is. But look at it: Carmania, Old Persian, Middle Persian, a historical region that approximately corresponds with modern Iranian. Hello, you see that? Province of Kermanan was a province of the Achaemenid, Seleucid, Arsacid, and Sasanian Empire. The region bordered Persia in the west, Gedrosia in the southeast, Parthia in the north, right? The Achaemenid Empire was part of the Persian and Mede Empire, right? Persia also is Iran. So this is how you put the two together. Okay. So what do these people got to say? The Jewish Encyclopedia says a people mentioned in Second Ezra 6, 15, and 30. The Carmanians are represented as joining battle with the nations of the dragons of Arabia. The dragons gain the upper hand, but are themselves defeated later. This has been taken to refer to the time of the Sassanids' support invaded Syria and took Antioch, but was repulsed. Let me read down here. The name is still preserved in Kerman, a district in the southeastern part of Persia on the shores of the Persian Gulf. So there you have it. And they're talking about what it's believed. No, they're off. We're seeing all of these things happen in real time. Okay. Let's get back over here. Okay, so we're seeing what the Afghans, they're being recruited in, right? So the war is escalating even further. Let's look at this. Got another story about diesel fuel and what that's going to mean for the overall outcome of um, America and the world. Diesel shortage update as prices skyrocket over fear supplies could run out. Could run out. We haven't heard that type of language uh, in my lifetime. An acute shortage of diesel fuel in the U.S. is threatening to keep inflation and heating bills high in the country through the winter as prices are expected to continue surging. I mean, they already got people on the East Coast, man, stressing about how they're going to heat up their homes. They're talking about the price of kerosene, diesel, regular uh, uh, gas for heating is at exorbitant prices right now. I seen the news report, man. This Edomite woman said she has to curb her eating so that she can keep warm in the uh on the East Coast. Let me see if I can find it. Uh, I can't find it. Let me see if I can see it under the videos. It was a news report. I can't find it, but believe you me, you can find uh, various people on the East Coast and news reports of them concerned about the cost of heat going up, right? An acute shortage of diesel fuel in the U.S. is threatening to keep inflation and heating bills high in the country through the winter as prices are expected to continue surging. The new government data released on Wednesday show that diesel supplies are unacceptably low, as National Economic Council Director Brian Deese told Bloomberg TV on Wednesday. And you know what? Janet Yellen had the nerve to say that she doesn't see that there is no inflation going on. Nothing wrong. Look at this crazy ass witch. Look at, I mean, see, these are old, these old demons, man, still running the country. Look how deluded she is. CNN exclusive. Treasury Secretary says she's not seeing signs of a recession in the U.S. economy. She doesn't see it. This is current as of today. She doesn't see what's going on. Let me see if she's willing to say it on record, right here, live on DSTN.
What's next? We need to hire.
Come on, let's get rid of this.
Just use Amazon Business.
As Democrats scramble to coalesce around an economic message to hang on to their congressional majorities,
I don't see signs of a recession in this economy at this point.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen.
What?
I don't see signs of a recession in this economy at this point.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen sitting down with CNN.
Wait a minute.
I don't see signs of a recession in this economy at this point.
She doesn't see signs of a recession in the economy at this point. I mean, she sounds like she's slurring a little bit, man. Maybe she's off that sauce. So she's trying to say that she hasn't seen negative economic growth consecutively the past 2 quarters. She hasn't seen that. I mean, when was the last time this old witch man actually had to pump some gas? She don't know. When's the last time she went to the grocery store? She don't know. When's the last time she paid a bill? She don't know. That's why she hasn't seen it. She ain't had to. She can ride around chauffeured in an electric car, have people go get her groceries and everything else for her. Give me a goddamn break, man. She doesn't see it. White man and his dog woman speak with forked tongue. Live.
Majorities.
I don't see signs of a recession in this economy at this point.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen sitting down with CNN to deliver her own.
We have unemployment at a 50-year low. There are 2 job vacancies for every American who's looking for work. We have.
Look at this old demon, man. Wait a minute. Now, didn't Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, just got through going through talking about how bad the recession is going to be? It's not going to be a soft landing. They have to do some economic softening, meaning layoffs. And she's talking about how great the economy is, how many people are working right now. I mean, how many people out there are working 2 and 3 jobs just to maintain? They're talking about rent prices are at an all-time high. Housing market is slumping, crashing down 20%. Nobody's buying homes right now. I mean, you could forget about car loans. Didn't we just go over that a few weeks ago? The average cost of a new car right now, the note is about $800 something. Used cars 500 plus. And this old dingbat, man, she said she don't see none of that.
Solid household finances, business finances, banks that are well capitalized, and we've been creating average 300,000 jobs a month.
It's an economic scorecard that hardly tracks with an exceedingly unsettled electorate. The discontent seems to be very real. The feelings about the direction of the economy seem to be largely negative. Why?
Inflation is very high. It's unacceptably high. And Americans feel that every day.
Hello, Syracuse.
The split screen that has weighed down Democrats for months on the day the U.S. economy.
Inflation has nothing to do with this recession, huh? Okay. Enough of these damn demons, man. Let me get back over here. Where was I? Diesel shortages. Enough of the lies, man. You can only take it so much. So here we go. New government data released on Wednesday showed that the diesel supplies are unacceptably low, as National Economic Council Director Brian Deese told Bloomberg TV on Wednesday. According to the Energy Information Administration, the U.S. has now 25 days left of diesel. It's lower since 2008. Well, what happened in 2008? Brothers and sisters, y'all remember that? If you don't know, look it up. That was the last time we had an economic crash. Housing market crash, banking crash, the whole nine. And if it wasn't for Obama printing up money and said the banks is too big to fail, we can't lose it all. And then them outsourcing a gang of jobs to India and everywhere else and shutting down a lot of the car plants and destroying Detroit, and them running guns and Operation Fast and Furious, selling guns to the cartels, they wouldn't have survived. They had to make that money. Operation Fast and Furious, man, they was slinging weapons down there to the cartels, making money. You know, they still running heroin out of Afghanistan as the troops was protecting the poppy fields. So they resorted to criminal activities, man. I don't have time to look up them things, man. Y'all go look it up. I'm sure y'all know. You smart brothers and sisters out there. The U.S. military was protecting poppy fields, and the poppy fields was known for the heroin trade. Geraldo did a whole expose and flew over there, and the interviews is on YouTube. He even interviewed the troops, and the troops was like, "Man, we don't like it. You know, there's nothing that we stand by, but hey, you know, we're following orders. We got to do what we got to do." And he said, "He's a poppy field. You know, this is going there, drug trade, heroin." They said, "Hey, what are we gonna do?" Operation Fast and Furious. Go look that up. Y'all know about that. Obama was out there selling weapons, man. Supposedly trying to track the weapons to the cartels of who they sold it to. That didn't stop no activities of the cartels. It actually got worse, and it contributed to over 60,000 deaths in Mexico from the cartel violence and drug wars. That's blood on the hands as well, man. But here they go. So they're talking about it ain't been this bad since 2008, and we know what happened back then. So what should we be expecting in the near future? Regardless of what the talking heads on the media is saying, regardless of what the bobbleheads on your Twitter feeds or whoever else is saying, oh no, everything's fine. You know, Jenna yelling, I don't see what you guys are talking about. The ish don't add up, man. D said that all options are on the table to replenish U.S. supplies, which have been drained by the impact of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, has had on global energy supplies and imports. Well, guess what? You're the ones put the sanctions on. All you got to do is eat crow, right? Inside joke for the brothers who know. You say all options on the table. Is that including lifting the sanctions? Is that including activating the pipelines that Slow Biden cut off and said no more mining, no more getting that coal? We're going green and clean. You gonna do that? No, they're not gonna do that. America's sitting on oil. And Slow Biden and his cronies said, nope, we're not touching it. Leave it alone. That's off. We're going green and clean, man. We're going to build back better. Doesn't matter how bad it gets for everybody. Slow Biden said, don't worry. I can go over there and I'm going to tell Ishmael, man, pump us some oil. It's all good. Ishmael gave him a fist bump and said, man, get your old ass out of here, man. We're not doing that. Boom, that didn't work. Oh, don't worry, I got sanction power. I'm going to shut down Russia until they cry for help and say we can't survive unless you lift the sanctions. We'll stop fighting immediately. The ruble is blowing up even more. Russian economy is soaring. That didn't work. So what options are on the table? You gonna kick that Keystone pipeline back open? You gonna go groveling on your knees to go tell Putin, man, hey, sorry. We're gonna stay out your business, man. You go ahead on and handle your business in Ukraine. Just give us oil, please. You gonna do that? Them options ain't on the table. Get out of here with them lies. Let me finish this up, man, before I get up out of here. The price of diesel fuel in the U.S. has been surging due to inventories at very low levels and limited the ability to quickly improve supply. Patrick Dehaan, Gas Buddy's head of petroleum analysis, oil and refined products analyst, told Newsweek. So, I mean, all you got to do, man, is just look up and see the importance of diesel fuel, how that affects the economy, how that's going to affect the food, how's that going to affect supplies, you know, how's that going to affect the employment for many of the truckers out there? You know, you're talking devastating effects, to say the least. All right. So look that up, see the importance of diesel fuel and how it's going to impact the economy. And then this article is going to make a lot more sense. Why within the next 25 days, when if they don't figure it out, we could be in some trouble. Okay. Um, let's look at this one real fast. Just in flashing back to the lesson I did last Sabbath regarding inflation, famine, preparation, right? And I made various parallels between the Roaring Twenties and what's going on right now, uh, and also seeing how the money was of no value. People ran out of money during the time of Egypt under Joseph's reign. Um, we're also seeing in Ezekiel 7, it said people are going to be throwing their silver and gold in the streets. And I showed a couple of images of what's going on in Venezuela. Well, in similar fashion to Venezuela, Argentina is on the same route. Tourists pay with wads of cash as Argentina inflation nears 100%. 100%. Look at the chart. The amount of cash in circulation in Argentina has nearly tripled since 2018. This is inflation at its worst. When you keep constantly pushing out money, and if it's backed by the dollar, the value of the dollar is accelerated. So that means that you got to match more pesos to match up with how much the dollar is valued at. So if you got so many dollars floating around, that means the value is diminishing because of the abundance of dollars. Everybody's got them. So what makes it valuable anymore? 2018, look how much it's accelerated all the way up to here. Paying with cash is becoming increasingly cumbersome in Argentina, with huge piles needed as the government refuses to issue bills with larger denomination despite inflation galloping towards 100%. In scenes reminiscent of Venezuela, remember that? The Argentine peso's sharp decline in parallel markets is multiplying the bills needed for everyday purchases in a country where the largest bill is worth less than $4. The largest bill is worth less than $4. A gap between Argentina's official exchange rate and the variety of parallel exchange rates encourages tourists and locals who have greenbacks to trade money in cash on the black market. The problem stems from the fact that the largest denomination bill in Argentina is 1,000 peso. So they're saying 1,000 peso at its official rate is worth $6.43. Well, we just got through seeing that is down to what? $3.44 now. That's 100% inflation. They damn near cut it in half. The problem stems from the fact that the largest denomination bill in Argentina is 1,000 pesos. At the official rate, that's worth $6.43. But due to strict capital controls, Argentines and foreign tourists often exchange dollars at the commonly used black market rate known as dollar blue, where 1,000 pesos fetches just $3.44. The central bank told Bloomberg News it's focusing on digital payment systems instead of promoting cash use. Think about that. Digital payment systems, CBDCs, cryptocurrencies, electronic payments, a new system of pay. You follow me? A new way to buy and sell. I'm going to leave it at that. See, once they collapse economies, then they come back and say, hey, we've got the answer. Let's go digital. Oh, but ho, is going to be linked to your carbon footprint. It's got to be green approved. It's got to be built around your social credit score, right? It's going to be based around your medical history, making sure that you've gotten all of your protocols to stay healthy. You know what I'm talking about, right? All of those things are going to be part of it. And guess who more than likely is going to sponsor all of these things? I've shown this before, the Docu card. I believe it was called the Doconomy or the Docu card. Made by none other than MasterCard. What a name. What a name. MasterCard. Well, what was our people calling the so-called white man during the times of slavery? So what type of new economy is going to put everyone in bondage? Who's going to come with it? MasterCard. Why did my computer freeze, man? Come on now. See, that's Satan for you, man. Come on, don't do that. Don't do that. Let me try to get up out of here. Oh, come on, man. I can't even. My whole computer done froze, man. See, that's Satan for you, man. As soon as I start bringing up some stuff, man, here he come, butting his nose in, disrupting the flow. Slack y'all. Hold on. This whole thing done froze, man. Slack y'all. See, I got damn demons, man, coming in, disrupting what I've got going on, man. But we ain't gonna let them stop us, right? Let's get back to the business at hand. All right. So let's look at this real quick. A victory for those of us who, for brothers and sisters, man, who stayed solid, didn't fold, didn't bend. NYC order to reinstate workers fired for the DVOG jab refusals. So redemption, is on deck. This is an important lesson for brothers and sisters, man, who remained faithful, who stood on 10 toes and said, we're not doing it. I'm not taking it. I'm not with it. I don't care what comes my way. The Lord's going to take care of me. I'm not buckling. Because a year or so ago, a lot of people was out there really shook up. Scared, buckled in, got the pokes, regretting it to this day. Because they didn't have the faith to stand up and say, you know what, the hell with it, man. I'm not doing it. But for those who did, you see how the Lord come back? This is just an inspiration of faith, man, to let everybody know. When the time comes and it gets even worse and more stipulative of how we're going to have to survive in this place, man, stand on your faith, man. The Most High will come through. New York City was ordered to reinstate a group of sanitation workers fired for refusing to get the poke after a state court judge ruled the mandate was unlawful. In the order dated Monday, a judge in Staten Island said the city health commissioner has the authority to issue public health mandates, but can't create a new condition of employment for municipal employees, can't prohibit them from reporting to work, and can't terminate employees. This is out of Bloomberg, right? There's another article that I have from Yahoo that said it was all of New York. Not just the sanitation workers, I believe. I could be wrong, but it was a similar article. Let me just look and see real quick. Look at this. Watch at the time. NY court orders rehiring and back pay for fired unvaccinated workers. See, this one says employees. Doesn't say just the sanitation. The New York Supreme Court. Come on, damn it, get out of here. New York Supreme Court says employees who were terminated for failing to get the poke should be reinstated and given back pay. The court cited evidence that the shots do not thwart transmission within the workplace. Being poked up does not prevent an individual from contracting or transmitting the thing. The Monday decision by Judge Ralph J. Porzio said. So there you have it. What's that mean for us, man? Stay faithful, Israel, man. The Most High will deliver us from all forms of bondage and oppression. And, you know, we just got to stand on it, man. See what happens. Guarantee you, man, all the people, man, that got poked up and didn't want to do it, they all kicking themselves right now. Like, what? They getting their job back and they getting back pay for damn near a year. They about to get a grip. You talking about damn near a year's pay. People's gonna be coming up on. And coming back to work and they ain't got nothing. Right? Okay, relax for a minute. All right, so let me get this other one right. Cause there go my computer, man. This thing is moving slow. I don't know what the heck's going on outside of the damn spirits. Here's a I'm gonna put a link in the description, man, so y'all can go and look at the full study. But there's a study that's been done, and archaeologists have found using geomagnetic technology that the cities and sites in which Judah was battling the Egyptians, the Assyrians, Babylonians, the ruins have been found to be authentic, and these biblical narratives and stories and histories really did happen. So any of the naysayers, any of the ones who's out there talking about the Bible ain't real, this is just a book of fairy tales, and those people never existed, and so, brothers and sisters, now y'all got a little evidence. Now y'all got a little arsenal that you can save for yourself, so that you can prove the atheist wrong. You can prove the Kemetic community wrong, utilizing the same things that they love, science proof, dates, and so forth and so on, to acknowledge no, findings have been happening. Case in point. Um, case in point. I mean, and that's scriptural. Let's go to Revelation 12 real quick. Revelation 12, and let's read verse 16. It says, Revelation 12 and 16. It says, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Now the earth that's helping the woman is through what? Archaeology. The archaeology, the findings that come from the earth are going to help the woman. The woman is Israel. It's going to help prove our cause. It's going to help prove and show us who we are. It's going to help prove and validate the word of the Most High, right? It's going to open up his mouth and swallow up the flood. What's the flood? The flood is a flood of lies that the dragon, the so-called white man, has put out there, the beast system that is put out there to desecrate and to try to discourage any and all of us who believe his word, right? So he operates and throws out a flood of lies. Let's get a couple precepts to prove that as well. We're going to go to Psalms 85. Psalms 85. Psalms 85. And let's look at verse 11. It says, truth shall spring out of the earth and righteousness shall look down from heaven. So archaeology is a truth that's going to spring up out of the earth. These are the things that are looked at, the potteries, the stone carvings, the writings on walls and monuments, rocks that are found, um, cities that are found, right? All of these things help prove and show the truth that the Bible is spoken about. One more in Isaiah 28. And let's read. Yeah, let's read this. 16 and 17. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. So we know who that stone is, right? That stone is Yahweh Shai. Now, it says what? Judgment also shall I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet. And the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the waters shall overflow the hiding place. So the waters, the hail, those are all metaphors. Those are all similitudes of showing how the rushing of lies is going to be pushed to the side, right? That's what we were seeing in Revelation 12. So when we see things like this, biblical stories of military events in kingdoms of Israel, Judah really did happen. Archaeologist shows. Tel Aviv, Israel. Biblical stories of military campaigns against the kingdoms of Israel and Judah appear to be more than just legendary stories, according to the latest scientific research. So we're not talking about the crap that y'all was talking about in 1995, 98, 2000, and all. They're constantly excavating and coming up with new methods to prove and to show the validity of the word of the Lord. All right. Researchers in Israel say ancient Egyptians, Arameans, Assyrians, and Babylonians really waged these battles. The team found evidence of these historical events in burnt remnants from 21 archaeological sites. Study authors were able to connect them with Earth's geomagnetic field at the time. The analysis shows the army of Hazael, king of Aram, Damascus, was responsible for the destruction of several cities. They include Tel Rehov, Tel Zayit, Horvat, Tevet, and Gath, one of the 5 Philistine states. So, I just wanted to bring this out, man, and kind of show that archaeological findings, man, is all being shown that we're right, that the Bible is true. All right. I'm gonna put a link in the chat, man. It's gonna give you not in the chat, but in the description box. If you're interested, you want to save the article. This is the uh, the actual uh, peer-reviewed study of the archaeological findings, right? Okay. Reconstructing biblical military campaigns using geomagnetic field data. This is the actual scientific research data. This is what I'll put in the link in the chat. And I'll also, not in the chat, Salakia, in the description box. And I'll also put the news article from Study Finds, which is a research based website that, they research all of these particular topics up here, right? So I'll put those in there so y'all can have it in your arsenal. You can keep it for future use. What else did I have? Oh, look at this. Oregon, man. Portland. I mean, that place is just the mouth of the dragon, man. It must be coming. The breath must be coming from out of Portland, man. They just as bad as uh, New York, California when it comes down to abominable debauchery, collapse of cities. It's all bad up there, man. Oregon child drag queen 11 was mentored by her aunt and jailed suspected pedophile before shows at a pub named after Satan. So, if this does not help us understand and know where this particular spirit that is coming from, known as the LGBTQ plus community, where its motivations come from, right? I covered a story, I think, in the summer in, I think it was Iowa, where they had, uh, it was sponsored by the Church of Satan. It was some open, parade and all of that for them people. And they were talking about doing baptisms. I mean, all kind of madness going on, man. Just shows you, man, that the satanic influence that's going on in that circle. A Oregon child drag queen, 11, was mentored by her aunt and jailed suspected pedophile. So this 11-year-old was being nurtured and brought up by his aunt and a suspected pedophile, and was doing shows at a club or a pub named after Satan. Peter mentor confessed her uncontrollable itch to chat to sex offenders online. Vanellope McPherson DuPont worked with suspected pedophile Kelsey Boren, who performed as Always Craving. Listen to these damn names, man. Look, good Lord. boasted while she was girls' drag mom. She faces several charges and told cops she had compulsion to chat with pedos. Child was introduced to drag age 7 by her aunt and mentor, Jennifer Hibbs. She had got handlers, mentors. Look at these demons. I mean, this is sick. Look at this. I mean, Jabba the Hutt. What? Disgusting, man. Disgusting. Look at these damn demon. Look at the demonic eyes in this broad, man. This dude. Whatever the thing. The dark gothic makeups, man. I mean, unreal. Unreal. All right, last story. Last story before I get up out of here. Many of y'all seen, man. Nancy Pelosi, man. She had a home invasion. Her husband got beat up with a hammer. They ran up in the house looking for Nancy. I guess it was one person. It says the assailant tried to tie up Paul Pelosi in a home attack and shouted, "Where's Nancy?" You know, this is very interesting because November 8th we got the primaries, man. So, you know, should we be breaking out the tissues and crying for poor Nancy and her husband, her drunkard husband? Huh? I mean, is this another ploy for them to say, guaranteed that this assailant was some right wing, crazed Republican Trump supporter? You know they're gonna utilize that as motivation to try to, sway the public view. Paul Pelosi, the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, was attacked with a hammer at the couple's home in San Francisco by a male assailant early Friday morning. Law enforcement told CNN the assailant who attacked him was searching for the Speaker of the House, according to a source briefed on the attack. The intruder confronted the Speaker's husband in their San Francisco home, shouting, "Where's Nancy? Where is Nancy?" According to the source, the man who assaulted Paul Pelosi tried to tie him up until Nancy got home, according to two sources familiar with the situation. When the police arrived, the assailant was saying he was waiting for Nancy. This was not a random act. This was intentional. San Francisco Police Chief William Scott said during a news conference on the investigation. Now, he assaulted Paul Pelosi, who, mind you, is 82, and apparently he couldn't tie this 82-year-old man up after hitting him with a hammer. Very interesting. Somehow the police arrive. Who called? Who knew that there was an issue going on? I mean, did the neighbors hear? Maybe did y'all see the house? I mean, look at how big this thing is. Brick walls. Who called the police? Here goes our nice little mansion on the hill. I'm not saying it didn't happen. It's just so many damn ironies that happened, and the timing is just uh, interesting. They were able to, they disarmed him. They took him into custody, right? Uh, have we seen a picture of him yet? No. Oh, where's he at? I mean, since when have they not shown somebody that's caught on the scene? Oh, they will show Paul Pelosi. Oh, it's too much hatred, huh? The right wing. Look what January 6th. Here they go. Esau's so predictable, man. So predictable. Goodness gracious, man. We done made it though, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, man. Hopefully everybody got some edification out of this episode, man. This episode 159, a DSTM. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Hopefully everybody enjoys the rest of the Sabbath, man. We'll be back with our live class 4 p.m. later today. And Lord willing, you join us on that as well. Other than that, man, y'all be well, take care. See you on the next go round. Shalom.